The following program is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the 7th episode of Take That Depression. I'm Kyler. He's Spencer.
Hello.
How are you doing this week, Spencer?
I'm doing very good.
Seeing as we just finished recording our last episode.
What a day where we have double recording and I have no sleep and you are losing your voice.
Yes.
What are the odds?
Oh, man. So this is our first off episode. If you're a part of the Facebook page, we've been talking about it. We've said it in episodes. What that means is a peer behind the curtain, if you will, a little Wizard of Oz. It is Saturday, as we're recording this, technically Sunday morning at about 1 in the morning. Now, we have a rotating schedule, 4 days on, 4 days off, which, as you can see if you can do simple math, is 8 and not 7 days. So our work schedule just kind of moves down the calendar in a diagonal way. But essentially what that means is next week we would be off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we would have to record an episode on Sunday night and get it edited and get it uploaded all by Monday at 2 a.m.
We love what we do.
Yes.
We love you. We do not love the idea of doing all that on our day off.
Yeah. So we are doing a back-to-back recording this week so we can upload the last episode we just took, research, tomorrow now, since it's Sunday at 1 in the morning. I will get it edited all tonight and then put it up for it to come out tomorrow morning. And then I will edit this one and then get it to come out next Monday. So that's what we mean when we say off episode. We're not taking a week off.
Yep.
It's just this episode is a little bit wonky. Welcome to it. We have a few questions here, a little bit of getting to know us better. And there is one question that my lovely wife commented on our Facebook post. So we will also be answering that. But as far as that goes, that's all that's different with an off episode is we're not beating your head in with a main topic. We will not have a skill check. We are doing a little bit of a get to know you, and then we're going to let you go on about your day.
If you guys have questions that you want to hear, whether it's something serious, whether it's something completely off the wall, again, let us know. We're here to answer questions. We're here to discuss whatever you guys want to discuss. This episode's a little bit of, like he said, getting to know us. Next week episode could be like, would you or would you not accept rotisserie chicken fingers?
Yep.
And a good deep dive discussion on what that looks like.
Yeah. And that being said, we do have a kind of good mix here. We found some of these questions by ourselves, but just to kind of give you guys a glimpse into what that may, we have some sillier questions, and we have some deep getting to know you questions. And we really look forward to kind of letting you guys get to know us. You've been listening for 6 episodes now, 7, without potentially really knowing who we are.
Just a couple random guys, yeah.
So here's our chance to lay ourselves out for you a little bit. But first, we have our final spooky season movie recommendations for this October. My movie recommendation this time will be Smile. It is such a good movie with unsettling scenes throughout, and the bad guy that you get to see at the end of the movie, which is why I'm really recommending it, the final kind of culmination event, is very intriguing to me, and that really stood out to me when I had first watched the movie. And if not for anything else, just that last scene is such an incredible reason to watch this movie. The way that the entity moves and just interacts with the world around it is so unsettling, and it's so good. The build-up is good. There's kind of detective work. There's the unsettling eeriness of all the things kind of going on around the main character, and highly recommend this movie if you haven't seen it yet. The second one, in my opinion, is still very good. You may remember it, the marketing for it. All the people in like baseball stadiums smiling, all weird. What a masterclass in good marketing. However, it's, in my opinion, less good than the first one because the end of the first one is so good. That being said, you can take a peek at it on Paramount Plus or on Netflix would be where you can find this movie. Spencer?
My recommendation this week for Spooktober is The Deep House. I'm not going to tell you it's the best movie I've ever seen or the scariest horror movie I've ever seen, but it was definitely something I haven't seen before. It's about a couple of YouTubers, a YouTuber couple, if you will, specialize in underwater exploration, and they hear about this house that's submerged underwater and perfectly preserved, and so they decide to go and check it out, and things turn out to be not quite what they seem. It has two of my scary bugaboos, one being haunted houses and the other being deep bodies of water. Like I said, it's not the craziest film I've ever seen, but it definitely does give you a different take, and it checks all of the boxes off for me. One place you can watch it for sure is Amazon Prime. There's a bunch of other random places like YouTube, but I think that's Amazon Prime's going to be your best bet for it.
And without any more ado, let's just jump right into the first question here, Spencer. Why are you a part of Take That Depression in its current iteration?
That's a really good question. In its simplest form for me, it's to create something that someone wants. It's to either create some kind of content that they're like, hey, I vibe with that guy. I want to listen to more of that. And probably reinforce my drive for like content creating and stuff like that. I feel like it was a very good step in that direction, and I feel like things can go from basically any direction from there.
Yeah, we've learned so much. Every episode that we've done, we've learned so much about content creation. Learned a lot of things about where we may want to go or not want to go in the future. We're trying new things every episode to see if they work. So yeah, creating content is huge. For me, I really enjoy learning. I'm a sucker for getting that next kernel of knowledge. So that the main topic really speaks to me in that when you present, I get to hear from a friend about something new that I may not have heard of. And when I get to present, then I get to go out and find that information, and that usually leads me down a rabbit hole of something that I didn't quite expect. And that's a fun journey for me. And also, I would like to echo your point of content creation. That's always been a huge passion of mine. I've always wanted to do something like this, and definitely super stoked that I get to do it with you, and that this is what it's taking, because I do love that learning, and it's been a really, really fun ride so far.
I really love that you have that drive for knowledge and you're always trying to like just absorb all that information, because then when I get to listen to you present these like really cool topics and learn, it's like I'm getting that like full in-depth knowledge that I might not get if I just looked it up myself.
I'm pretty introverted. I've said that a couple times on the podcast now, but that also, like, presenting feels weirdly like interesting to me, especially not presenting to a physical crowd of people. I'm way more nervous then, and I'm sure also if you listen back to episode 1, you can hear the nervousness in our voices just kind of fade. And even now, there are moments when I still have that. However, yeah, presenting that information, figuring out that information, and then putting it into a consumable format for you guys has been a very, very fun journey too. I am very appreciative of everybody who listens. It is a super fun ride, and I am so happy that you guys are along for it.
It's very exciting stuff. This is going to be a little out there. Such a good question. How many pillows and blankets do you sleep with?
I do enjoy this question. My wife and I will probably have a disagreement about this till the day we die. I go home, I walk into my bedroom, I look at my bed, and we have a sheet, a fitted sheet, we have a sheet, we have a blanket, we have a comforter, we have probably a half dozen throw pillows. We have a body pillow. We have 4 normal human-sized pillows. And with our second kid on the way, my wife also has her pregnancy pillow in the bed. That is too much.
That is a lot.
It is so much. I need 1 blanket and 1 pillow. Now, hear me out, okay?
Oh, I'm listening.
My wife works Monday through Friday, a normal human schedule. And I'm responsible for dropping the boy off at daycare and then picking him up from daycare. I have to leave the house to pick him up from daycare before my wife gets home. I am so bad at waking up to alarms. I have generally a dozen alarms set to wake me up on time to get to where I need to be if my wife can't wake me up. And sometimes, depending on where I sleep, I will sleep through all 12 of those, and that's a really bad day. So what I've started doing, we have a kind of chase lounge portion of our couch at home. I take that couch cushion off of my couch because that's too comfy. I put that couch cushion on the floor. I take 1 pillow, 1 throw pillow from my couch, and I take 1 blanket from my bed, and then I sleep on that Chase Lounge couch cushion. That is all I need. I need a couch cushion on the floor, I need 1 pillow, and I need 1 blanket.
I can't be trusted not to sleep through my alarms, so I sleep on a pile of Legos to ensure I wake up. I am with you 100% on all of that. When I go upstairs to bed, I need 1 blanket, and I need my feet to be able to stick out from that to control my body temperature. And with my need for that, we also have 50 blankets, 4 pillows, bunch of fitted sheets. It is exactly the same. You and I are on that same page. And it's so funny. I came home from work the other day, and Natalie did washed all the bedding and everything. And it was just, she set it on the bed, and then when we went to bed, we were gonna make it, and she was gonna stay up a little while, and I was gonna go to bed. And she's like, I better go upstairs and make the bed because you're a monster and you'll just lay on top of everything. And that is very accurate. I will sleep on a pile of blankets and then cover up with just my 1.
That's so funny. I will generally, if it's a weekend when my wife is home all day and I get the luxury of sleeping on the bed, as soon as I get into the bedroom, all of the pillows are coming off the bed. I throw them on our rocking chair next to our bed, and then I get down to just my 1 pillow and whatever's on I don't pull the blankets off the bed, but I pull all the pillows off the bed, throw them on the chair, and then I sleep. And she recently was like, all right, if we're gonna do this, you need to put them back when you're done. And I said, that seems fair.
That is, yeah. You are a better man than I, because they're not coming back.
All right, so our next question is, Spencer, what does a great day look like for you? If you could do anything in a day, what would it be? Probably PG.
Got him. A great day for me, we'll start cheesy first. A great day to me is a day like today. I very much look forward to recording and getting to hang out, to go from the first episode of shaking and nervousness, and I'm not gonna say I don't want to do this or whatever, but just kind of the nervousness of it, to now come on, let's go, let's record, get some goofing in. But with that aside, a good day is when I just get out of the house for a little bit. I'm very much a homebody. I used to not be that way, but I love being at home. So it's nice to mix things up. Get to go out, get some food. I'm a big foodie, so trying a new restaurant is definitely a good day for me.
Yeah.
A good day also looks like a day where I don't have to work. I think there's a lot of people that can relate, so that's kind of a cop-out answer, but generally any day that I'm alive.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to be a good day for me. But definitely a great day is that being able to sit at home. Again, I'm an introvert. Said that 100 times. I'll keep saying it 100 more times. I'm an introvert, so I love to just sit at home, the wife and the boy, and just enjoy each other's presence. Play with the boy when he goes to bed. Do games with the wife. It's so easy to just kind of like be a good day, because that's all it is. I don't need stars to align to just hang out with my family. That comes kind of standard with having a family. You kind of got to spend time with them.
Yeah.
Which is lucky. And I do think that a great day for me would be supper, is grilling steaks,
Ooh.
and then making mashed potatoes. And I'm a sucker for definitely a steak and potatoes kind of guy.
Yeah,
and
who isn't?
Yeah, that is definitely the supper to cap off a great day, is steak and mashed potatoes for me.
That's a very good day. That
Yeah.
is a very good day, and I'm very happy you shared that. Moving on from good days, a little flip of a switch here. Knowing you as long as I have, you are generally a very positive person. Almost always very much more positive than I am, and I appreciate that about you. So with that being said, what makes you really angry?
That's a great question. And I am, in so many cases, almost terminally positive. Almost, like, there's not much that can happen that can, like, kind of sour my mood. And I like to be that kind of beacon for the people around me. We were talking about vibes in a previous episode. I like to be that beacon that just radiates good vibes. I feel like that does so much for the people around you if you can just do that. However, there is one very, very easy way to send me from 0 to 100. And it's kind of from my upbringing, kind of from a portion of my professional life as an adult. I'm a huge respect guy. If you blatantly disrespect me, if I have the ability to, not the ability to, if I have not the power, but the right kind of to ask you to do something, and then you don't do it, you disregard it, you ask me why is a big thing, is if you need to know, I'll tell you, and everything that you need to know is in what I've just told you. That really just sends me, and then just blatant disrespect. They're like a new guy coming into a company, and then just like saying the wrong stuff out the gate. That will send me for a loop. Interrupting, not letting me speak, or not letting anybody speak, just being rude in general, disrespectful to people, not just to me, that's my one bugaboo that'll get me going every time. If you want to see Kyler mad, just be disrespectful to him.
It's good to know that.
Even gods have flaws.
Yeah, it's good. I was gonna say it's good to know you can bleed. That's not unreasonable. That's a really good reason to be upset.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh, that's kind of toxic of you. One thing, shaking just thinking about it.
Oh no.
I try to be a positive person. Every day I try a little bit harder. Sometimes I'm a little spicy. Things like I haven't eaten. Things like I'm tired. Things like I'm just a spicy person sometimes. All things I'm working on. But one thing that flips the switch from 0 to 100 with me is if you were to ask me a question, let's say let's say something, and you're like, hey, I generally care about this. What is, ask your question. You ask me this question, and I'm like, sure. And I tell you, and as I'm telling you, you flip a switch and go turn to someone else and stop talking and ignore me. That gets me very heated. It's one thing being ignored when you're talking. Happens, whatever. But to ask me a question and then completely ignore it, it's not me talking, it's not I came up to you and said this. It is you asking me a question and then ignoring the answer. That oh boy howdy, does that get my blood boiling.
Yeah, that also feels right in line with the respect thing, and I don't think anybody could be mad at you for that. That makes so much sense. I'm a big proponent. I always say, if you care enough to ask me a question reasonably,
Mhm.
I care enough to answer you as honestly as I can. That being said, if you come up to me, I could not know you very well if you come up to me and ask me a very personal question, as long as it doesn't put me or anybody else at risk.
Mhm.
You cared enough to ask, so I care enough to answer. Then if you turn around and just like, look at the stars tonight, it's like, all right, dude, you can go fly a kite somewhere else, man.
You've seen me in situations like that, and we've made some eye contact in situations like that.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. Now, next question. Moving on from anger, we're gonna flick the switch back to good. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. What is a moment in your life that really transformed you?
That is such a good question, and it's such a deep, thought-provoking question.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about my answer to this question before I kind of had it made up in my mind.
I feel like this might be a bit of a cop-out answer, and I apologize, and I will answer it the best I can. And if anyone is not satisfied with it, I will reflect on it and do better next time. A few episodes ago, we talked about accountability. Through a chain of events, there was reasons in my life that I had to learn that lesson and what that meant. When I learned about accountability and started taking personal accountability, that was probably a good changing point in my life. If I did not do that, I would not be anywhere I am today. We would not have this podcast. I would not be in a super healthy relationship. Probably wouldn't have even worked where I'm working now. I'd be in some bad situations. So I think just the point where I started looking in and saying, wait a minute, I definitely was the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah.
When I made that change and started changing my mindset, that was probably the biggest transformation for me that I can think of right now.
Okay. Mine would be, I was not the greatest kid growing up. I was not nice to my parents and my brother, and that's something I'm not proud of. Towards the end of middle school, it got bad enough to where I got sent from public school to an alternative school for children with behavioral stuff going on. When I started going to that alternative school, I saw all these other kids around me that had real bad stuff going on around them. And I could not compare in any of my personal experience to anything even remotely close to what they had gone through. So it was then that I really started to look into myself and figure out what was going on, to make sure that the class that I was in had a cap of like 4 or 5 students, because you needed the ratio to be crazy, because these were kids that were getting in fights in school and like beating up teachers and stuff like that. And I wanted to make sure that I could get out of there as fast as I could, so I wasn't taking up the spot of somebody who really needed it. I come from a good home. My parents are still married to this day. I had in my head as a kid no reason to be acting the way I did. I had diagnoses from mental health professionals, but seeing these other kids in their really hard situations. And then me going home to two parents that loved him and a brother that was scared to be around him. It was a really eye-opening moment, and from that moment forward, I started working so hard on myself. And I've come so far, and I'm so proud of the distance I've come. And again, that leads itself back into I did some things I'm not proud of previously, so that putting all the good vibes out into the world, making one person's day better every day, 1%, that's all I feel my penance for what I've done. And I really hold that true.
That's such a good answer. If you, I almost don't believe it. Just seeing the you now and the version of you, it just sounds like if someone else told me, they're like, oh, Kyler back in the day, I'd be like, no, no shot was that real. So for me to hear that and see how you are now, that is 100% rags to riches story. Like, that's the success story I like to hear, because you've turned into a damn fine dude.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, again, I worked really hard. I've done a lot of self-reflection and things. I'd learned a lot from that alternative school, the things that they taught you. I really intook and tried to do better every day. And yeah, I feel like if anybody can talk to that, the 1% thing, I don't have to not be a dick right now, but if I can be less of a dick every day from 8th grade until now,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's the change you can
Yeah.
have, the 1%, whatever. Yeah, it's a really testament to how true that is. And it wasn't an overnight change. I think even trying to get out of there, I was still in the alternative school for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was working at it every day, doing the things, playing the game. It was, yeah, that definitely, not necessarily a moment, but a time in my life that really made, and yeah, without it, I don't know where I'd be. So I can't thank my parents enough for pushing for that.
That is such a good answer. I really appreciate you sharing with that.
Next question, moving on from that. Do you have any toxic traits that you're not proud of?
Yeah. Yeah, I can be toxic sometimes. Right off the bat, I think one of my toxic traits is that I always feel like I have to defend myself. I always feel like I have to not necessarily get like the last word in edgewise, but I have to like justify everything that I'm doing. And I like, if I feel like it's someone can talk to me and they'll be like, hey, this is kind of how it is, and I'm very like shield up, and I'm like, well, this, and this, and this, and I do get very defensive very easily. Even when it's just it's not necessary. It's not that type of a situation. I do that a lot at work, and that's something I've been trying to like, you know, tone down a bit. But even just in my personal life, like I've had some moments where like I was kind of shitty. Me and Natalie got into some arguments, and they didn't need to happen, and they were on my end, where it's just like, if I would just put my shield down a little bit and look from a place of love instead of just like, all right, we're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think when I can learn that, and I am learning that, I'm doing a lot better. Every once in a while it slips out, but I would say keeping my guard up and getting defensive is probably one of my toxic traits.
That's fair. I think similar to that. I am probably one of the most stubborn people that you'll meet when it comes to something I care about. I'm not just stubborn for like stubborn's sake.
Yeah.
But if it's something that I believe in, if it's something that I think is silly, whatever, there's not much that you can do to move me once I've planted my feet down on something.
I will die on that hill.
So that's definitely has gotten my wife and I into a few tiffs that probably didn't need to happen. But yeah, stubborn is by far and away my most toxic trait. I'm very stubborn.
I think guys are just stubborn in general too, for no reason.
Yeah, I could see that.
My fiance says it's because we're dumb.
That's the second thing that you said guys are dumb for.
Yeah. There's a pattern here.
Maybe there's something to her research.
We'll have to skill check that. Moving on from there, what are some of your core values?
I would say my biggest core value goes along kind of with respect, integrity. I think especially when no one is looking, if you can ensure you're doing the right thing, that for me makes me respect you so much more. And it drives that nail home that you're doing good when you do it when no one is watching, when you think no one is watching. There doesn't have to be this praise that comes with every good deed. But that, for me, by far and away, is my highest held core value, is just being true, being authentic, being you. And sometimes it's less good than it is good in certain situations when you just, for me, like, you want to just be mad, but your just terminally positive brain is like, well, look at the bright side. At least you're not also in a coal mine doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, man, but also it still sucks right now. But your brain is like, no, it could be worse. It could be worse. But yeah, integrity for me by far.
That's a really good one. That kind of aligns with the big one for me. It's same thing, different word, but just trustworthiness.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I just can't be around people I can't trust. And like you said, integrity with like how people act around you. It's a kind of a pet peeve too, going back to that where you confide into someone and you're like, yeah, here's the thing that's going on. And then all of a sudden you're finding out from 5 different people you didn't talk to that, hey, I heard this.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I think another core value too is just for something for I expect out of myself, but others too, is just be a good person. You've talked about it a lot. It's so easy and free to just be a good person. A good morning, a hey, good job, ear to listen to, someone says something and then just not respond negative and just say, yeah, and then go from there.
Yeah. And that also doesn't mean that you can't stand up for yourself to be a good person.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean be a doormat. I think that those two, I'm growing in that way. I was very non-confrontational, very letting people walk all over me, stuff like that, form of a good person. I am also getting to that point in my life where I just don't have the time for it. Time, I like the quote, maybe Taylor Swift, I can't remember exactly. Your time is a luxury resource, and not everybody can afford it. And that has never held more true than right now. It's just, you can't be everybody's everything. Sometimes you need to stand up for yourself and be like, hey, I want to help you right now. I am wafer thin. I have no time for my family if I get to go do that. So I'm going to pass on that right now and hope that they respect it. And know that no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
If somebody's asking you to do something and you can decline it, you can just say no. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe anybody anything else. If they're asking you to do something you don't want to do, no.
Sorry.
Move on.
Sorry, fam.
Yeah. It's just not worth all the extra shenanigans that go into it sometimes. And yeah, again, no time for it. Cut them out if you have to. I don't love it. I don't love to jump to that. And if that's what needs to happen, there are friends that I've had for years that just ain't it. And then you just kind of have to move on. You grow up, you grow apart. That's life. It sucks.
We both say this, I feel like, often, and we both believe in it, but your vibes attract your tribes.
Yeah.
And that's something I've kind of looked at over the years, too. I have many friends from degenerates to, people who are just good people to have around in your life. And I've definitely kind of gravitated towards the non-degenerates. Like
Yeah.
it's fun as a kid, it's fun as a teenager to like have a lifestyle like that, but if they're not adding anything, they're only adding negative to your life. It's
Yeah.
I love you guys, but if we're not on the same path.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Tupac, I believe.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I still want you to eat, just not at my table.
That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that in recent years. Dang, do I ever want you to eat? You've been nothing but a good friend to me, but my table's full now. We got no place for you. And definitely that, yeah, standing up for yourself doesn't make you a bad person. All right, final question time.
Let's hear it.
The one that was submitted by my lovely wife. If you could know, this is more of a hypothetical here. If you could know how you're going to die, would you want to know?
A little reinforcement on that. Is it just how or is when on the table as well?
Okay, so we'll break it up into 3 questions. If you could know how, if you could know when, and then if you could know both. So when without knowing how without knowing when, both or none of the above.
I want to tell you none of the above, because when you think about it, that sounds crazy and scary. I'm not ready to deal with my own mortality right now. But with that being said, if you had, let's say it was a little red button on the table, and you're like, press this button and you could know when and how you're gonna die, I'd be like, no, that's not for me. But then the longer the buttons sit there, the more I would dwell on it and the more curious I would get. So I think, ultimately, I would have to say yes. In my heart of hearts, I think.
Both?
For both.
How and when?
Yeah, I don't want to, but if you present me with that option and I dwell on it long enough, you put it out there, I gotta know. Roll the dice.
That's very fair. I'm right there with you. My knee-jerk reaction is no. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. However, where we differ, I think I would stop at when. I would want to know, if given the opportunity, how much time I have left to make the best use of that time.
Yes.
I don't want to know how, because then I feel like I will dread, like, if it's a car accident, I don't think I could ever, like, even if it's a car accident at, like, 80 years old.
Yeah.
I would never look at driving a car the same again.
It's today the day.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that even I wouldn't want to know how, I wouldn't want to know both. I would just want to know when, again, to make the most out of the time that I have left, to really set that up to hopefully leave my family as best supported as they can be, all that stuff. Because, yeah, I feel like it would kind of be selfish if you have in my head,
Yeah.
hot take here, hot take, don't cancel us. It would kind of be selfish to not know at all. Because there's so many things that you can do then to, like, set your family up.
Yeah.
And, like, even knowing when they can, like, this is gonna sound silly, but, like, pre-mourn you, and they can pre-mourn with you.
That's huge. To be like, we know this is happening, and like we're gonna get this out now as a family.
Yeah, this is a bit of a downer at the end of the episode, so I'm sorry. But a year or two ago, there was a dog that I got when I was late middle school, early high school age-ish. So about the time that I went to our alternative school, but a couple years ago we had to put him down. And that's a unique thing where you can know when something is going to die. So he would eat everything. I love telling the story. I was grilling one day, and out of the bottom of the grill fell a hot coal. And he ran over and snatched that thing up before I could even stop him. And he moved on like nothing happened. How he did it, I have no idea. No, I was astonished when it happened, but again, he would just eat anything. So the day before we were gonna put him down, we cooked him steak. We got him all kinds of random snacks and things like that. Gave him all kinds of human food. Let him eat kind of whatever he wanted. And then, like, right before we took him in, because it was something that he'd never experienced, we got to give him chocolate. And, like, what a cool, if there's something that you haven't done that you keep putting off. I want to go see the Eiffel Tower. And you keep putting it off. You're like, next summer we'll go. We just need to make a little bit more money. Whatever. If you know when, you can be like, oh, I don't exactly make it to next summer. So we can go and eat our chocolate now. When we wouldn't get to do that if we didn't know how. So again, hot take, feels a little bit selfish to not at least know when, so you can help your family along the way.
That's a really good answer. I would also, how do I word this? I think I would still ask for both if you presented it with me, but I think I would also immediately regret it.
Yeah.
Especially how. I think, like you said, knowing is something I feel like at first would be hard to come to terms with. It'd be like, shit, this is happening either then or now or whenever. But as you said, it's something you can kind of prepare for once you get over that hump, and it's like, hey, this is happening, may as well make the most of it, and you can make the most of it from there. Whereas you said how is like, anytime I get into a car, now it's going to be like, is today the day? Is this happening? Like, I don't want to. I like surprises, so I'm ready for that surprise.
It's like, it could also, you hit the how button, and then you're just, like, immediately disappointed with, like, choked on a grape. It's like, cool, thanks, buddy. That's how I'm going to go out.
I thought I was going to Valhalla. Turns out.
So yeah, that would also be a hard one for me to come to terms with if that happened. So that would be a hard no for me, just in case.
I really hope I'm never presented with this.
Yeah, that's definitely a head scratcher. But with that wraps up our first off episode. Again, this will happen in 7 or 8 weeks. Again, we'll have another episode where we do a Q&A. So get your questions in now.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time. Definitely send an email to takethatdepressionpod@gmail.com with any questions you have, comments, concerns, anything you can send to that email address, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. You can also, on any post on the Facebook page, you can ask us a question. Make sure that you say it's for an off episode if you want us to answer it there, because if you're asking us questions, we'll also just answer them in the comments.
Here you go.
So yeah, make sure that you let us know that it's for an off episode, but you can comment on any post there. Like us anywhere that you can like us. Comment anywhere you can comment. Do the interaction thing. Again, if you want more people to see us, that's the best way that you can help us along the way. Recommend us if you have any family or friends that you think that would enjoy this. Definitely recommend us. Again, if you feel like we've deserved it. But other than that, as always, stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please, please, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.